2023 had the hits, but was it a great year for albums? Honestly, it was. Last year, I had done 22 albums. This year, I'm doing my top 23, and even with the extra spot, I know I probably missed some pretty amazing records. These 23 albums, ranked subjectively, represent the albums that really made this year for me. While some of these albums definitely went under the radar on the charts, they went platinum on my phone. So without further ado, here are my top 23 albums of 2023, and before some of you ask where's SZA, SOS was dropped last year, even appearing at number 2 on my list that year. It would have been number 1 if I wanted to double dip. I'm currently working on a video just about that album, by the way. Number 23. Clocking in at just 12 minutes, this is the shortest record on my list, but it's one for the books. Of all the K-pop releases this year, this one felt most tailor-made for me. It's just a masterwork of genre mixing, hit making, and one of the most romantic records I've heard this year. The jumps from UK garage to bubblegum bass to just R&B pop. I love Super Shy, but it's really ETA that's my highlight track. I cannot wait to see New Jeans continue their world domination. 22. Kali Uchis has always been on my radar, but this year she killed it with Red Moon and Venus. This album was lush, just a showcase of her versatility. The texture of this record is so gracefully femme. She slips between English and Spanish effortlessly. I Wish You Roses was a stunning first single and a wonderful introduction to the world that she's created here, but it's really songs like All Mine, Blue, Deserve Me with Summer Walker that just keep me coming back. 21. The number 1 movie in the world has a brilliant soundtrack with absolute smash hits and so much variety. I'm Just Ken remains iconic. Billy's What Was I Made For is a richly moving existential ballad ready for an Oscar. Dua Lipa's Dance the Night was a summer sleeper smash hit. Speed Drive by Charli XCX reminded the general public what a star she was. Even the deep cuts like Angel by Pink Panthers and Choose Your Fighter by Ava Max really register. While it isn't cohesive, it's an absolute blast, and it's probably one of the best soundtracks that I've heard in years. And now we're in the top 20. Ice Spice was one of the biggest winners this year. She's the favorite for the Best New Artist Grammy. Like proved that Ice Spice had the hits and the hooks. This drill record expanded into 10 tracks, maybe a little uneven, but when Ice finds her footing, she's a superstar. In Her Mood is a great solo track. The Princess Diana remix with the queen herself, Nicki, remains a key highlight. But Deli's my absolute fave. This is Ice at her best, coolest and confident self. She commands the beat over a hook that will have everybody screaming it back to her. On the Scarlet Tour, this song went off, and on her solo tour that's going to be sold out, it's going to go off. Number 19! Taylor Swift released 2 brilliant Taylor's versions this year. Speak Now was the richest and most improved recreation of hers so far. The instrumentals, her improved vocals, just really elevated that record to new heights. I found that the vault tracks were pretty solid on that record too. I Can See You was a highlight, as is Foolish One. 1989 on the other hand had a few messy recreations of classics, some going as far as calling them botch, but it's really the vault tracks on that record that were the best of the bunch. I had Is It Over Now as number 2 on my top hits list, but I have to shout out Say Don't Go. That deep cut's a Phil Collins-esque, long-lost 80s banger. Number 18. I cannot give Ray enough flowers. Most know her for escapism, but her album 21st Century Blues is a very solid debut record. This is a powerful story about Ray's personal journey healing from trauma. I found that the first half of the album is immaculate. Tracks like Hard Out Here and The Thrill Is Gone really captured me. The production on the record is its own character in the story. Ray and Mike Sabbath really have co-produced the start of a career I cannot wait to see unfold. Number 17. Amaarae is a musical chameleon. Fountain Baby is one of the most adventurous albums of the year. I was hooked from the hypnotic Angels in Tibet, one of the most iconic, craziest openers of this year. Every song feels like it belongs to the same album, but Amaarae really takes risk on every track, sticking the landing each time. Her voice just has this gorgeous soft texture to it that blends into the instrumental as if it's always been a part of it. The melodic work on this record is next level. I highly recommend checking it out. Number 16. It has been 5 years since the brilliant Dirty Computer, and Janelle Monáe has taken a break from acting to return to music with Age of Pleasure. Many argue that this is much weaker than her previous works, but I did find it to be a staple record for my summer. This is one of the most joyful, light records of the year, a celebration of reggae and soul. Hot was actually one of my most played songs despite being so short. At just 14 tracks, with most falling under the 3-minute marks, Janelle really doesn't overstay her welcome. If anything, she makes us want to stay with her a bit longer. Number 15. Pink Panthers opened the year with the killer Boys a Liar Part 2 and ended the year with Heaven Knows, a debut record that vastly expands her sound. Along with Muramasa, Pink really does shed her drum and bass sound that she's been known for to add a variety of newer influences. It is a refinement of her previous sound. Mosquito is an absolute bop. Capable of Love, another standout for me, combines her gorgeously dark romantic lyrics with her ethereal vocals alongside a aggressive punk instrumental. Number 14. Jessie Ware has done it again. No one does glossy pop the way that Ware does. Her command of the genre remains untouchable. Steering more towards funk and soul this record, Ware blends disco sounds, splashy horns, and stellar background vocals to create utter high camp. This is what pop can and should be: unserious, unbridled, and untamed. She doesn't even try to top What's Your Pleasure, but she manages to create a whole new game. Number 13. 16 albums in, and Kylie Minogue still has bops with tension. Anchored by the success of Padam Padam, this synth-pop record is a reminder of how genre is an art form. Kylie goes straight to the fundamentals. This is a no-frills album filled with hooks, beats, and lyrics designed and cut to pop perfection. Yet the track that I always go back to all the time is the title track, Tension. Kylie reminds us that behind her meticulous process is an innovative mind ready to influence generations for years to come. Number 12. Continuing in her tradition of killer B-sides, The Loveliest Time is Carly Rae Jepsen's chaotic follow-up to The Loneliest Time. Jepsen's experimental sounds on this record yield some of her bravest pop yet in tracks like After Last Night, Collage, and Shadow. Though it's really in the swatches of synthpop that we uncover songs that should have ruled the charts. Songs like So Right and Come Over feel like proper follow-ups to the highs of the Emotion era that really made her a queen amongst pop enthusiasts who adore craftsmanship over gimmickry. Number 11. Sufjan Stevens' 10th album, Javelin, is a return to songwriting form and one of the most devastating records of the year. Dedicated to his late partner, Stevens bears it all, delivering some of his most direct and arresting lyrics. This is a career high where it's hard to single out specific tracks as each one flows into each other. It's become a cliche to say that your next record is your most personal one yet, but this one's one of the clearest looks into one of the most enigmatic and greatest songwriters of our lifetime. The sonic soundscapes that he takes us on makes this one really not to miss. And now we are down to our top 10, which was a nightmare to construct. I want to say that the top 3 were locked, but the rest kept on moving around as I was recording this. Number 10. Scarlet is a defiant and divisive record. Doja Cat's entirely self-penned record minimizes her pop sound for an aggressive vibe that showcases her rapping skills. That's not to say that she abandons her ear for a hit. Agora Hills is an immediate standout for me. It's a raw ode to being in love. Gun is bound to be a smash hit when it becomes a single. This record is stuffed to the brim with witty lines and a powerful message about parasocialism, owning your fears to become immune to them. Number 9. Alt pop has a new mother in Chappell Roan. Her debut, The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess, sparkles and shines. Produced by Dan Nigro, this killer dark pop record is a slice of queer pop joy. Roan is just one crossover hit away from becoming a pop force. I have not been this excited over A Star's Rise since Reina Sawayama. Each song has a hook that's cut to perfection, truly explosive, and you really feel her personality on every track. Anyone missing the big anthemic pop smashes of yesteryear, you need to check her out. I rarely say this for anybody, but I got slivers of early Gaga on here. Not sonically, but just the vibes, I loved it. Number 8. 6 years after her debut, Kalala is back with Raven, just a stunning transformative dance record that really stuck with me. It's an experimental record that plays with genre to tell stories of the struggles that she's faced as a black femme in the industry. This record is an ode to liberation from being boxed into genre. She really plays with house and ambient to really create some atmosphere. You can really feel a living tapestry of loneliness and reformation. It's a project that's enveloping, sensual, and soul-bearing. Number 7. Victoria Monet is one of this generation's most gifted songwriters. Concluding her Jaguar series, Jaguar 2 is an R&B masterclass. It's effortless. The production on this record is just amazing. The live band arrangement really adds a warmth and soul to this record that I didn't really feel on other records this year. Monet is confident and in control of every single track. I called out On My Mama, which feels like a long-lost classic, but her reprise for Smoke is my current obsession. Number 6. Boy Genius has had a breakout year. Baker, Bridgers, and Dacus have created a seminal indie rock classic here. Each member gets their moment to shine, but this record made me fall in love with Lucy Dacus, especially on the song We're in Love in particular. The friendship these women have, their understanding of each other, and the love they share for each other, it's something that I want for myself in my own friend groups. This is a record about the triumph of artistic community. Supergroups tend to feel gimmicky, but the chemistry here is just so organic, and Satanist remains my personal favorite track on this record. And we're now here in the top 5. Most of these I've actually covered already on my channel, with the exception of one. Number 5. Something to Give Each Other is the record that Troye Sivan was born to make. It is a sparkling, effusive pop album about learning how to love yourself through a queer lens that he's never been ashamed of. Each track is a shared experience within the community, not the situation but the emotion behind it. Beyond the singles, each track also documents a piece of Troy's story finding community through heartbreak, sisterhood, friendship, and queerness. If I had more time with this record, I'd rank it a little bit higher. This is his magnum opus. Number 4. Mitski never makes the same album twice. The Land is Inhospitable and So Are We is an Americana folk LP that ditches the pop trappings of Laurel Hell. It's an epic record that sounds bare bones but contains some of her most intense imagery to date. Her melodic work on this one is just otherworldly. Songs like Heaven and Star are built on very simple ideas, but they become archetypical. Mitski knows how to divinely capture universal emotions in a specific, darkly humorous yet honest way. It's an existential crisis that's neither a cry for help nor a celebration. Like us and our existence, it merely is. And we're here in the top 3, which was hard to order, but this is the order I went with. Number 3. Guts is both a refinement and a reinvention of Olivia Rodrigo. Sophomore slump has been averted. Rodrigo finally rocks out the way we wanted her to since hearing Brutal years ago. Songs like Ballad of the Homeschooled Girl and Bad Idea Right, they combine her sardonic wit and self-awareness into catchy pop punk. Even her deeper ballads explore newer, maturer territory, adding texture and depth to her wunderkind pop sensibilities. Rodrigo no longer feels imitative, she becomes innovative. There is a reason she is a reigning voice that has both the general public and the critical community in a chokehold. And the way that she has been campaigning this album, she might dark horse her way into an AOTY Grammy. It seems every day she's on TV. Number 2. Despite being released at the start of the year, Caroline Polachek's Desire still reigns as one of my favorite records this year. Polachek combines ancient mythology, her understanding of the pop genre as a veteran, and Danny Elharl's co-production to create one of the most distinct and rich records of the year. Everything from bagpipes to drums and bass to Gregorian chant combines together to form Desire. Each and every song feels coherent and cohesive but distinct. This is a record about searching for meaning, love, and connection in a world that's rediscovering who it is. This album is experimental, adventurous, and essential. If you have made it this far, I think you know what number 1 is. This year marked me doing the Lana Del Rey series, which has brought many of you to my channel actually. I had to give Ocean Boulevard the top spot because of that. Solely because this record is both a synthesis of her previous works and a true reset for Lana. This is the record that Blue Bannister set up. Ocean Boulevard is a true peek into Lana's mind. We learn so much about the grief, heartbreak, and life that she's lived so far. It's a soul-bearing record about her deepest fears, insecurities, and troubles. But it is also a celebration of her wit, candor, and charm. This is a record that ends on a remix of one of her greatest ever songs, Venice Bitch. Her self-awareness of her legacy as a trailblazer in the industry and reckoning with that really makes Ocean Boulevard her most autobiographical and raw record to date. Songs like A&W and Fishtail call upon imagery that she's most associated with, but she subverts them to underscore her humanity. In a world where we deify pop stars unintentionally and put them upon altars, Lana continually rejects that idea. Ocean Boulevard is a testament to her wish to remain tethered to the earth. I could not help but think about her early Lizzie Grant days where her sole aims were to create music, not for her listeners, not for the big labels or the success, but for herself. Ocean Boulevard is a success. It's up for Grammys, people bought and loved the record, but what makes it undeniably a hit to me is that Lana clearly loves this record, and you can hear it on every single track. And there we have it. That is my list of records. I know I missed a few. Trust me, I know I missed a few, but I did my 23 top records. And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for being a part of my channel this year, whether you're a new subscriber, a longtime member. Quick shout out to my members, obviously. Depending on my schedule, I think I have 1 or 2 more surprises for you this year, but next year we'll kick off with the SOS video that I have promised you guys forever. It's taken me a year to process that album, and I really want to make a masterwork, something akin to my Lana videos about it. If this is my last video this year, I want to thank you guys so much for everything, and I will see you next year, and next video. From mine to yours, happy holidays, and also goodbye 2023. Terrible year for personal stuff, wonderful year for music.